Hi everyone, this is Chantay. I'm here with a weekend review of something that I called my analysis, folks. So I'm not going to be long-winded. I do apologize for the late delay. I've been very freaking lazy. And I'm tired as hell because I've been doing this project and this project has been kicking my tail. Overall, I have serious amount of projects. This is what happens when you do grad school online when there's a global pandemic. Hi to everyone that has came on. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel too, because I do post this on my YouTube channel afterwards, and it's on my Instagram feed. So here we are. I start with COVID, and we're still in the midst of this pandemic. I just learned that we're not in wave 2, we're in wave 3. I didn't know there was a second wave. Maybe it was in the summertime, but not in my state. Well, not in New York, but like in the Midwest and the Sun Belt states in the South. So we're wave 3. So here are these numbers, and they're freaking alarming. So on the global frontier, we're at 42,114,524 cases around the world. I didn't put down the death toll for the globe, but it's 1.1 million. It's over 1.1, the death toll around the world. And that's actually 189 countries, not 187, but 189. Here at home in the U.S., we are still leading as the top cases. We are at 8.4, almost at 8.5 by we wake up tomorrow. So it's 8,484,991. The death toll in the U.S. is 223,914. Will be at 224 when I wake up in the morning. And 8.5 million cases and counting. With no national strategy, by the way. High cases in other countries. There are other countries that are leading up to us that have break in the millions already. We have India at 7.77,761,312. They're neck and neck with us. Hopefully, they might surpass us. Who knows, depending which way to go. But we are in this mess. Brazil is at 5.3 million, 5,353,656, followed by Russia at 1,471,000 even. France is at 1,084,732. Argentina is at 1,069,368. Spain is at 1,046,132. Colombia is at 998,775. They will probably be at 1 million tomorrow. Peru is at 879,876. UK is at 834,010. And South Africa is at 712,412. Wow. Panama is at 127,866. DR is at 122,873. Guatemala is at 103,653. Nigeria is at 61,882. Ghana is at 47,601. Kenya is at 47,843. Haiti is at 9,015. Jamaica is at 8,638. Bahamas is at 6,268. Trinidad is at 5,487. Guyana is at 3,960. Belize is at 2,995. Barbados at 226. Antigua is at 122. St. Vincent at 73 cases. St. Lucia at 48 cases. Dominica at 37. Grenada at 27. And St. Kitts still remains at 19. And that's the world stage. You can find those numbers at the Johns Hopkins website. Now, for the states with the highest cases in the U.S., according to the New York Times COVID map, you can subscribe for free. They don't charge for the COVID map. It's only for the COVID map only. We have California. They're close to 1 million. They're at 901,836, followed by Texas at 898,194. Florida, 771,772. New York is seeing upticks especially cluster outbreaks in Brooklyn and Queens, at 496,510. Illinois, 370,115. Georgia at 333,479. North Carolina, 253,844. Arizona at 235,910. Tennessee, 237,607. They're actually 2 points over Arizona. And New Jersey rounds up that top 10 with 227,219. That's COVID. And according to the Washington Post, there was an article. United States of America has seen the highest recording number of confirmed coronavirus cases at 81,400. I repeat, America has hit the record high number of coronavirus cases at 81,400. That's crazy. And those states include, of course, here in the East Coast in New York, the West and the Midwest have already had overwhelming hospital rates and deaths, record deaths per day. COVID-19 hospitalization has increased in 38 states, including here in New York, over the past few weeks, and rises in facilities in the West and the Midwest, as I said. The last we see these numbers was back on July 17th at 76,000 cases. In the winter and the cold, the virus is going to linger. So this virus is not going nowhere, as you know who said last night, which I'm going to get into in a minute. Also, Dr. Burst, one of the coordinators, the database coordinator, said it won't be simple as closing public places down, public spaces. Some states are going to have a hard time. Some of the constituents in other places that you saw the protesters, they're going to, protest and be stupid and shit. And I know it's ridiculous, Joseph. It's super ridiculous. And of course, getting into this debate, I hope you guys saw it. If you didn't see it, you can catch it on YouTube. It's posted there. What was supposed to be the final presidential debate, which it was, or the third, was the second and final, because due to the debacle of the first debate, the second debate was supposed to happen with a town hall virtual, but you know who said no, so they did town halls, but he was well enough to do the town hall in person. Probably spread COVID. Who knows? But anywho, yeah, it was a lot better. However, Donald Trump proceeded to lie as normal. And because of that, I don't know what's going to happen in this election. But what I do know is Joe Biden was strong, and he presented himself as the leader that this country needs right now, because we're leaderless. Our leadership is absent. We're facing 5 major crises in this country. We're facing a global pandemic, because I just read those numbers, resulting in a financial recession, which we're in it, which might be a financial depression if this shit don't get fixed, and there's no national strategy happening. We will be in a depression. There is climate change. There's fires breaking out in the West. There's hurricanes after hurricanes in the Southeast. There's no normal fall in New York. There is back and forth of cold and hot. Don't understand the rising sea level, especially here in New York. If you live in boroughs like my borough, Manhattan, or you live like in Brooklyn, which is near the Atlantic Ocean, you will see the rising sea levels. Number 4 is the racial reckoning. As you know, that Breonna Taylor still has not get the justice that her family deserves for her. And Biden did do his thing last night. I'm going to get into specifics of that. And 5 is a constitutional crisis. And in those constitutional crises, you have the Supreme Court being politicized, rushing this woman to the court. The judiciary branch just advanced her to a full floor vote. And Donald Trump possibly suing the Biden campaign after the election if he loses, so that he can get another 4 years in there, because that's the only thing he got left. But overall, Biden did his thing last night. Now, I do want to address something, and I want to address this. The crime bill. I am not caping for no one. That's my disclaimer. I'm making that very clear. As learning about the crime bill, it was wrong. And Joe Biden admitted that it was wrong and it was a mistake. Now, getting into the specifics of why the crime bill happened, throughout the 70s and 80s, urban neighborhoods were on fire. New York in particular was one of them. The 70s was a long decade of a recession. Jimmy Carter got in it. Some things was trying to get right. But I guess Americans wanted the former movie star, Ronald Reagan, as the president of the United States and got elected. He thought addressing Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in the Bronx, wait a damn minute, was going to get people vote. No. And I know the Bronx had it worse because it was north of Harlem. Now, throughout the whole entire 80s and through the early 90s, New York was on fire. Urban neighborhoods was on fire. Crime was going up. The crack came. And what did Ronald Reagan do? Absolutely nothing. He did nothing about crime. He did nothing about drugs. But the yes, say no to whatever, the campaign of stopping drugs. And he didn't do nothing about the HIV and AIDS crisis, which when he left office, there were 60,000 casualties, if that number was right. But it was somewhere up there between 60,000 and 70,000 people that died from AIDS. So Reagan didn't do nothing. And George Bush, within his short tenure, George H.W. Bush, didn't really do nothing neither. So it was up to William Jefferson Clinton, aka Bill Clinton, when he got elected, to do something. Of course, Joe Biden drafted the crime bill, and yes, it was wrong. But people in our neighborhood supported that because within that crime bill, there was violence against women. There was that bill. There was the ban on assault weapons. It was that too. And the violence against women was about husbands and boyfriends and domestic partners beating their girlfriends' asses. Basically killing them in their home. So that bill was in the crime bill too. And black pastors and most black elected officials, except Maxine Waters, Charles Rangel, and John Conyers, they were all against the crime bill. I get it. It was wrong. Like I said, I am not endorsing the crime bill. But the purpose of that crime bill was to get neighborhoods less crime. What was bad about it was longer sentences for people that had drug charges, more than murder charges. And it was systemically wrong. But there were states that were led by Republicans that encouraged mass incarceration. And there was mass incarceration before the crime bill. This country for 12 years before Bill Clinton was run by Republicans, conservative Republicans like Nixon, like Reagan. Oh, I forgot about Gerald Ford. Forgot about him too. Was ran by. So there you have it. So for folks who complain about the crime bill, and the ones that are complaining about it are the ones that were raised in the suburbs, including the black people that was raised in the suburbs, you need to shut the fuck up, do your research, and to understand why that bill happened. I grew up in Harlem, born and raised in Harlem. I was born in 1986. That bill was needed. That bill was heavily needed because people like my mom used to work late sometimes and be feared for her life when she comes home. She will have to get off the 2 and the 3 train on 116th Street. At the time, Lenox Avenue was wild. It was live. We lived on 5th Avenue. It was a little quieter, but when you go up the block on Lenox, it was a whole different world. 7th Avenue and even 8th Avenue. 8th Avenue today was not 8th Avenue when I was a kid. Okay? I couldn't go to certain neighborhoods still before that crime bill happened and when that crime bill happened. My father literally said, we're not going that way because I have my daughters with me. And my father is a product of Harlem before the change happened. And during that drug era, my father was a grown man. My father had friends that were hustlers. Some of them were smart. They hustled their money and they moved south because they know what would happen if they keep staying up here. They would have got killed, for crying out loud. You look at Paid in Full, how people were kicked out of their homes because drug dealers needed a place to deal their drugs. And my mother told me this, and I saw it, the stuff for myself. It's no lies. It's serious. So when I hear these woke folks talking about, oh, the crime bill, and I said, so where were you? You were raised in what? A suburban home. You were not raised in an urban neighborhood like me. The hottest urban neighborhood of drugs and drug dealers. Okay? So y'all can take that shit and shove it up your asses and actually do some research and talk to some older folks. Like I said, talk to some older folks that will tell you why that crime bill happened, why that crime bill was needed. And I'm going to leave it as that. There you have it. But overall, the debate was pretty substantive. Donald Trump is not the guy to continue to lead this country. He has a disdain for immigrants. He said immigrants in the detention centers are well taken care of, which we all know that's not true because it's unsanitary in there. It's disgusting. And some of them are catching COVID and even dying from COVID in there. He said he has done more for the black community since Abraham Lincoln. I'll say you forgot about FDR, forgot about Dwight Eisenhower, at least try to make some inroads. You forgot about John F. Kennedy, who was one of the architects behind the Civil Rights Act. And you forgot about LBJ, who actually passed it once Kennedy died, and the Fair Housing Act. You forgot about, Jimmy Carter tried to, took us out of a slight recession for a minute. You forgot about Bill Clinton with some other stuff he has done for the black community in terms of balancing the goddamn budget. You forgot about President Obama. You forgot about all these people. Donald Trump has not done anything for the black community. Everything, he took stuff away from the black community. He took our rights away to get affordable housing in the suburbs. That man done everything wrong. Roll back protections to protect us. Environmental protections at that. Oh, I negotiate HBCUs. That was already in the works before your ass got there. And it was Kamala Harris and Doug Jones who actually sat with your stupid ass administration because they're dumb as hell to do that. So there you have it. But otherwise, it was subsidies. So I know who I'm voting for. And early voting does start tomorrow in New York State, including New York City. So if you plan to vote in person, that's great. If you have mailed off your voting ballot, that's perfect. If you are registered, please check your registration. Check where your early polling site is, because early polling site is different from your general election site. I will be voting, taking advantage of early voting. I will be voting during the week because I usually don't like the weekends because everybody and their mama is out there. For those who do have a regular schmegular degular job, and I'm not, knocking people, but I choose not to be out there with a whole bunch of crowd. I am taking advantage of early voting, however, during the week. So I suggest everybody who is registered, please vote, that live in New York. Take advantage of it because we got a week of it. We from October 24th, to November 1st. The times are different. They vary during the week. So please take a look at that. The Board of Elections, you could go to the NYC Board of Elections and look at that. And for those who live in other states, I know your early voting started. Please take advantage of it. We have to vote. And it's not about the presidency. It's about restoring our democracy in our legislative branch, in our judicial branch, and even our executive branches. Local elections do matter. Local offices do matter because they're the ones that make the decisions. I know here in New York, we just went blue on our state legislative as of 2 years ago. So all that time when I thought the state legislature was blue, it wasn't. It was actually red for a couple years. That's why Andrew Cuomo kept fighting tooth and nail with the state legislature. I understood it. So we have to vote in local elections every year. I know some folks that follow me saying, what does it matter? Why my vote don't count? No, your vote does count. And it starts off with that. Then you request town hall meetings with the council person, with your state legislative person, with the mayor, with the governor, because those meetings matter. Even with your congressional person in the House of Representatives and even the senators. Our two senators in New York is Kristen Gillibrand and the Senate, hopefully the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer. You can request meetings from them. They're available. They wouldn't mind meeting with your asses. Plain and simple. You have to take advantage of your worth. You have to know your rights. You are an American citizen, no matter what they tell you. The choice is yours. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not. Because I have no stake to tell you who to vote for. But I have the right to tell you that voting matters and it's definitely important. Because when you sit back and vote, you get degenerates like the New York con artist in chief from Queens, running your country at a muck. I couldn't even get the words out because there's so many words going through my head. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. I have to look at my agenda. I think I went over my agenda just a little. I did. Oh, the Supreme Court. I did say that the Senate advanced Amy Coney Barrett, the quote unquote the originalist, to the Supreme Court vote for the vote to choose the Senate majority. Getting the words wrong. The Senate Judiciary Committee voted on Thursday to advance Amy Coney Barrett to vote for a full confirmed vote on the Senate floor, for her to be confirmed on the Senate, if I said that right. So that is exactly why, another reason why you should vote. 2, she's not experienced. She's only been on the bench as a judge on the 7th Circuit Court for only, 3 years. That's not enough time. That's not qualifications. Doesn't matter if you was a litigator or a federal prosecutor, whatever you were. That's not enough to be a Supreme Court judge. For example, RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was an experienced judge. She worked for the LCU, then she was a judge on a court, and then for I don't know how many years, but it was more than Amy Coney Barrett's years. And she was confirmed in 1993. She served on the Supreme Court for 27 years. 27. That is a long time. A very, very long time. And she dissented like hell. She fought tooth and nail with her best friend, which he was the most conservative judge and probably the most racist judge on the Supreme Court, next to Sam Antaleo and next to Clarence Thomas, Uncle Tom ass. But as I say this, everything is on the ballot at this point. If you haven't been paying attention, I suggest that you pay attention. You don't have to be a news junkie like me all day, every day, looking at it like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, you need to like pay attention because this is about us. All of us. Each and every last one of us. And to the black men out there, I'm speaking to you. Do not listen to Cube. Cube's black agenda contract with Black America, it's so misogynist. It doesn't even include women nor our LGBTQIA brothers and sisters. It doesn't. It don't even include children. He talks about capital. And it's not just all about capital. It's all about learning, about having these difficult conversations about race. It plays a part in that. There's also black Jewish people too. And he don't discuss about them. And that is problematic. But Cube doesn't care. He cares about capital, as I said. And don't listen to 50 neither. Don't listen to 50 because 50 is about his coins too. And making money off of you. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm going to leave it as that. I hope you take my message. I hope this message resonates with you. I hope you understand that we're dealing with 5 crises. I'm going to say it again. We're dealing with a global pandemic resulting in a financial recession, climate change, racial reckoning, and a constitutional crisis. That's 5 in 1 simultaneously. While still wrestling this damn pandemic, as I said. Seeing almost 10 million cases. So I hope y'all listen to what I had to say. And tell your friends, too. Voting matters. But I'll just leave this with y'all. Don't believe disinformation. Do your research, make a plan, and vote. Tell your moms, tell your grandmas, your aunties, whoever live with y'all, vote. Okay? Tell your brothers, tell your fathers, your cousins, vote. 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 Until then, you guys have an awesome night, and I see you next Friday.